Good morning everyone and welcome along to the JN Sports Complex for the final day of competition in the 19th Commonwealth Games Lawn Bowls program. Today the men's singles champion will be crowned along with the women's singles champion, and it's taken us a long while to get to this particular point, but we are business end, and as I mentioned, today will be the final day of competition, and we've seen some stunning lawn bowls over the last week or so. Just the action here, and having a look at the temperature and conditions, 24 degrees already, humidity 49%, and there is a negligible breeze here this morning, but quite pleasant conditions. It is going to get a little bit tougher as the day goes on. This morning we're going to see semi-final playoffs, effectively the quarterfinals of the Lawn Bowls program, as we have a look at the stadium, the magnificent stadium in the background, and that's how close we are to the main athletic stadium. Today we're going to see New Zealand and Australia, traditional rivals, and it will be an absolute classic confrontation between New Zealand and Australia. For the winner, the joy of going on to play in the semi-final with a chance of going through to the gold medal game. The loser, their Commonwealth Games is done and dusted for 2010. Just part of the crowd, not a huge crowd here, but I should imagine this afternoon we will have a very, very big crowd. At 4 o'clock this afternoon is the women's gold medal match from this particular rink, and also a little bit later on at 7:30 tonight, New Delhi time, we will have the gold medal match in the men's singles. Ali Forsyth for New Zealand, the left-hander who lives in Sydney, is up against an Australian mate in Leif Selby, and these two players know each other's game inside out. Ali Forsyth finished second in his particular group, just behind Sam Tolchard of England. Won 7, lost 7, 14 points, but the only difference that Ali Forsyth is not straight through to the semi-finals was the shot differential. Ali Forsyth finished with plus 58 and Sam Tolchard plus 71. Leif Selby, on the other hand, finished second in Section A. Ali Forsyth was second in Section B, and Leif Selby 6 wins, 3 losses, 12 points in front of Paul Foster by more sets. Leif Selby won 12.5 sets compared to Paul Foster's 11, so Paul Foster also relegated to the semi-final playoffs. The marker in today's match is William Lamont of Scotland, and he will guide us through. We're not too far away from commencing our game here today. The other semi-final playoff is between Robert Will, who won a silver in Melbourne, and Paul Foster of Scotland. That's happening a couple of rinks from our particular match. Dave Edwards, the New Zealand manager, will be casting an eye over this particular match and giving Ali Forsyth all the help he needs. And for Australia, we have Rex Johnson, named Paddles, from the Tuncurry in New South Wales, just north of Newcastle. There he is, the manager of the overall Australian team, and Paddles will be taking Leif Selby through this particular match. Joining me in commentary off a 5-mile race, but now we're about 100 metres from the winning post, England's race caller Simon Holt. Simon, welcome along. Last day, it's been a long time getting here, but I think we're set to finish with a fight.
Well, we're certainly going to try, Mike, and about to begin on this final day of the Lawn Bowls tournament. A lot to look forward to later on today, culminating in the men's singles gold medal match of the day. Winner of this match will go through to meet Gary Kelly in the men's singles semi-final, which will be played at 12:30. The first of these singles semi-finals at 12:30 New Delhi time. The final local time 7:30 tonight, the match for the gold medal, as Leif Selby is the first to bowl.
And of course the match after this will be a semi-final. So these players, if they are to get through to the gold medal match, will end up, and if they do, will end up playing 3 matches today. Both players played 3 matches yesterday. Ali Forsyth lost to Tolchard of England 7-5, 13-5. Then he beat Manakokarua Pitta 11-9, 12-6 of the Cook Islands, and also defeated Michael Reeve of Jersey 9-3, 14-2. Leif Selby, on the other hand, defeated Mohammed Raja of India 8-all, 7-5. Matt Labir of Guernsey 10-0, 10-2. And also Safwan Saeed 12-5, 13-7.
Ali Forsyth is 30 years old, lives in Australia, but representing New Zealand. Lives in Sylvania Waters, New South Wales. Sylvania Waters rings a bell with me. Was there some sort of document?
There was a television show.
There was a fly-on-the-wall documentary, wasn't it, about some dysfunctional Australian family?
It was like the Australian version of the Osbornes. Sylvania Waters, a beautiful part of the world though, but Leif Selby just right on the money straight away, holding 2 in this opening end. Sylvania Waters in the Cronulla Shire, south of, it's a Sydney suburb, but in the southern parts. And Ali Forsyth with a drive, and he gets one shot, and the jack goes out, and that'll be respotted, and Leif Selby will hold the shot. Now the jack is respotted 2 metres from the ditch and 1.5 metres to, as we look at the rink here, your left of the television screen to our right, from that centre marking. So Leif Selby will have 1 bowl remaining, and Ali Forsyth will also have 1. Interesting start for the big fella from New Zealand. Not quite up there. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that, but he's still holding 2. Now Ali Forsyth has the chance to draw this shot and take the first end. Just needs to get past that. He has done that. It will stay on, and a very, very good start for the big man from New Zealand, Simon.
Yes, and when you get that respotted jack, there's confirmation that it's 1-2 Ali Forsyth at the end of the first end. When you have that respotted jack, it's a readjustment which is required, isn't it? And invariably it comes down to the last bowl. So it's not as though the player has a second chance of correcting.
Well, certainly in that situation where the jack was speared off the green, and Leif Selby had the best back woody, because Ali Forsyth had promoted that bowl back there, but he was under enormous pressure. He was down 2. It was a pretty tired head. He hit it spot on, so he played that very, very well. First advantage to Ali Forsyth.
But they were playing to a shorter end initially, and the respotted jack was much further down the rink.
If there is a tight head like that, you'll often see a player play 1 bowl to the spot marks, either on the left or the right of the centre tee. Happens a little bit more in the pairs and triples than it does in the singles, because each player only has 4 bowls here. Julie Keegan, the skip of the Australian women's triples, who won the silver medal. Well,
they're just coming up a little bit short, Leif Selby, but best so far.
He just wants to play on his own bowl here. He's done that and promoted that up to shot bowl. Well played, Ali Forsyth. There's Wayne Turley, the second for the Australian men's triples, also the silver medalist from Tarrant Point Club in Sydney. Beautiful bowl, beautiful bowl. Probably, oh, it just rolled the right way too. He's saying 1 to blue. He's going to go with...
Yes, if he can take out Selby's bowl, he may well end up having shot here. I think back bowl, which he's taken out.
Well, now he's created a bit of a problem. By the look of that, Australia could be holding 2, if not 3.
That was exactly what he didn't want to do there.
Well, it creates a quandary now. Does he go the same way with his next bowl, or does he have to try and draw it off, and depending on where Leif Selby puts this particular bowl? He would have to hit the jack. If Selby can't provide some cover here and Forsyth has another drive at it, he'd have to hit the jack, hoping to take it into the ditch with his bowl. He just wanted one in front of that bowl. He'd be disappointed with that. So Forsyth now, Simon, just having a look to get a bushman's view of how many he thinks he's down. He knows he's down definitely 1. If he feels as though he's only down the 1, he might try and draw this. So he hasn't got too many options here. The Henselite Tiger 2s of Ali Forsyth.
So if he tries to take out the jack, there's no guarantee that he'll end up holding the shot either. He's got nothing out the back.
He's just going to try and draw the shot. Well, he's got the shot. Oh. There it is, a little wick off bowl. A little bit of luck there, but very, very well indeed. He's the on the Selby bowl, dropping, and he'd be very happy with that.
Well, the weight was very good anyway. It was, if it had not deflection, it would have been pretty close anyway. It was very well weighted. It's going to be Leif Selby to lead off here. He's had an illustrious career, Mike, hasn't he? I was just reading through the LCV. Asia Pacific Championships, World Cups, World Champion of Champions. He's clearly a real class act.
Yeah, the last couple of years he has played extremely well. 2009 World Cup gold medalist in the singles. Last year also the Asia Pacific Championships gold medalist in the triples. He won in the Asia Pacific Championships in singles. In 2008 the World Champion of Champions singles champion. So he's had a stellar couple of years, no doubt about that, and was an automatic selection for the singles for Australia from the very, very strong St John's Park Club in Sydney, which provides probably 70-75% of the team here at the Commonwealth Games, along with the Helensvale Club on the Gold Coast.
Ali Forsyth has also had his fair success. Champion of Champions, New Zealand singles, Asia Pacific singles, triples as well. Best known singles player.
Yeah, Leif Selby just a little bit short on that occasion. Breathing a little bit of sigh of relief there. There's the Aussie contingent, Aaron Sheriff just there on the phone. Mark Casey on the far right there with Bryce Stewart, one of the managers. encouragement that it's up to this bloke to be able to do the job for the green and gold. Tasted gold in the Commonwealth Games program of 2010 after taking 2 gold in Melbourne.
Lawn bowls at any rate, but Australia currently with 68 gold medals during the whole of the Commonwealth Games. Well clear of India and England in the South Africa back in 5th on 12, but of course 3 of their golds here in the lawn bowls.
Yes.
3 of those 12.
Yeah, both triples, men's and women's, and the men's pairs in a stunning result. The match should have gone to a tie-break, but Jerry Baker and Sean Adendall got a 6, maximum 6 on the last end to draw that set and win the medal. It was an extraordinary match, and here's Ali Forsyth. Another, and I think he's got a couple, and he's got the early advantage here over Leif Selby.
Yes, he's won the first 3 ends now.
ASX shot to win. The great Commonwealth Games competition from Mitsubishi. Valerie's had her final shot at the Games. So, new Mitsubishi ASXs has been won, but you're still with the chance to win the other ASX. All you have to do is find the hidden key. Just visit asxshottowin.co.nz and good luck.
He was always fairly safe in going through, and he would have been disappointed that he didn't go through straight through to the semi-final. So, Sam Tolchard went top in Section B, but in Selby's group, Gary Kelly, who played extremely well, went through on top. And in actual fact, that match, Kelly and Selby finished in a tie-break, and Kelly won that in a tie-break. So there was nothing in it. But I just think he seems a very relaxed person. Ali Forsyth can also veer up a little bit. We saw that against Tolchard in the last hand. He knew he couldn't win, and they had to play it out. He kind of just threw him down and said, let's get this over with and get on with it. So I think they've been around. They have their individual mannerisms that can be construed at times as though he's dropped his bundle, but he's just a fierce competitor. And yeah, I don't think it's a problem, but there has been a bit of talk. The first match he was a little bit frustrated more than anything, I think.
Just natural disappointment. If they compete very strongly and fiercely, as you say, then there's no surprise if they get a little bit upset when they don't win. And
the conditions here have been really tough. Physically, it's been very, very hot. Both these players yesterday played 3 matches. Even though the singles doesn't go for terribly long, it's mentally sapping and it's physically sapping. Now, Selby having a drive, trying to pick up the jack into the ditch, and that should be very close together. There it is. Now, Ali Forsyth, there is a little bit of gap there. That's to mark the jack. That little one will mark the bowl. So,
Just the one, yes.
This is going to be very difficult now. The bowl in the ditch very close together.
That was a great shot by Leif Selby. You can see those 2 little markers there, the blue and close to the bowl. So it's near impossible for Ali Forsyth
to hang it over the cliff, doesn't he, really?
Well, the thing is now that Selby's got a chance to draw 2. You can't beat that. Well, unless you hang half the bowl over the ditch. It's got to pull up. It's got to pull up. Is it going to stay there? No. And that was a very good example of how at times the ditch has disadvantaged players because the bowl actually bounces, and we've seen it bounce out of play when it gets close to the rink extremes.
This needs to pull up as well from 5. That's gone, and that's going to be 1 by the look of things to Leif Selby.
3 or 4. Sorry, Zoom 4.
And he gets off the mark in this match, and it's 4-1.
So I'll meet you for lunch.
That looks different.
Do you like it?
Dunno. Give us a bite.
2 breast fillet crispy strips, salad and creamy mayo, all wrapped in a soft, warm tortilla.
You change.
KFC Twisters, just $5.90.
Well, certainly has done some very razor work with that beard. Wonderfully manicured.
I read somewhere, Mike, that Leif Selby might be cutting back on some of his bowls commitments. He's got a daughter who's a promising swimmer, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think I read that. Regrets missing some of the competitions.
Well, he's 38 years of age. These senior players, and he's currently ranked number 2 in the world. He's played 87 times for his country. They can make a very, very long bowls at the top end.
It certainly seems to be the case in Australia that they can. I don't know about most of the top players have jobs that they go to during the week. They play bowls whenever they can, but they have to go out and work.
Are associated with clubs as coaches, bowls coordinators, so they can find a living within the bowls industry and earn a living at the same time outside of their lawn bowls. It's a little bit like a touring professional in golf. Most of the golf pros will be associated with their home club on a sponsorship basis or whatever. A lot of these players, similar sort of situation. Well, a wide open head here at the moment. This is in number 4, getting through this match reasonably quickly.
Scythe returning to the mat here. Beaten just once in the sectional play. He lost out to Sam Tolchard of England. A very young player having a great tournament already into the semi-finals.
13-5. I covered that match and it was a very good match. Ali Forsyth again got out to a flyer and then Tolchard played some extraordinary bowls to peg him back and qualifying straight through to the semi-finals, and Ali Forsyth, if he wants to get to the gold medal match, has got to do it the tough way. Selby's got a real chance here to be able to draw this shot. Now, you wouldn't say that those first 3 attempts have been extraordinary bowls, but he really does have the chance, like did in the second end, of just being able to draw the shot. Because New Zealand holding a shot at the moment. And it's not going to get to his, it's going a little bit, but just cuts the one out. So probably a couple to Ali Forsyth here.
That's New Zealand 6, Australia 1.
It is. There's William Lamont from Glasgow brandishing 2 red lollipops and indicating that the New Zealander lead shots to 1.
It's an interesting. We just didn't pick it up. We're on the wider shot. Leif Selby, William Lamont had to look around because he was to pick up the mat, and the jack was at the mat. So the other day when Leif Selby played Ryan Bester, the marker Andy Ewans had to actually sprint to pick up the mat because the jack went past him. The player's just getting on with it, but that's a better bowl from Leif Selby. That's a beauty. Selby really does need an end with a big count. The set's quickly slipping away. Yeah, that's a pretty good bowl too. That's 2 in the count. Playoffs and semi-finals are a little bit different from our sectional play, Simon, where in sectional play ends, 2 sets of 9 ends. Ali Forsyth with a drive again, trying to upset this head. And then they play a tiebreak if it's set all. In the semi-final playoffs, quarterfinals and the semis, if one player can't win the set, they will declare the set done at either the 7th or 8th. Here's another one, making it a little bit more difficult. Oh, he's left that. Wanted to be up and he's really quite upset with him. Just walks off to the...
Of course, Australia looking for back-to-back. Here's another drive. Get back to that in a moment.
He's through the gap.
Missed again. Just going to say, Australia looking for back-to-back gold medals, as Kelvin was the winner of 4 years ago.
They beat Robert Will from Wales. Robert is in the semi-final playoffs. He's playing Paul Foster of Scotland at the moment on rink 9. And there he is. There's Robert Will, who won the silver medal at the 2006 Commonwealth Games. And it's 5-4. Robert Will is leading after 5 ends. Richard Goodbody, the Australian media manager, who's done a sterling job here, providing all the news services right around Australia, is just sitting in front of us and turned around and gave us an update of the score. Thank you, Richard. He's got 3 at the moment.
In fact, the marker holding up 4 lollipops.
Now it's a different situation again, Simon. Does Forsyth, well, he's got a little bit of room there. Now that blue bowl that you're green is Forsyth. This time he may once again go with a little bit of weight, trying to take that jack back to the ditch. And if the bowl sits in the ditch with it, he's got back for a toucher, he could have a couple. Or if he, and there is movement at the back, people are walking, and he just some of our volunteers the mat.
Trying to draw it here. It's not far away, this. It's not far away here, Mike. Take the jack. That's a great ball from Ali Forsyth. It's 1. Oh, he stole that from under Leif Selby's nose there. He knew it was on target.
G'day, Merv. G'day, Merv. When you're buying or selling a car, g'day, Merv. There's the good guys and there's the others. Make the right choice. G'day, Merv. It's the same when your car needs servicing or repairing. Eliminate the risk. Only trust the professionals. So, how do you tell the difference?
G'day, Merv.
Always look for the sign. G'day, Merv. MTA people, they're dedicated.
Provide a little bit of cover for that shot bowl.
Yes, big psychological blow as well. It's been very dispiriting for Selby, holding 4 shots before that final bowl from Ali Forsyth.
Now that again just straightened up. Look at that, it's just gone dead straight. Now it's starting, it's straightened up again. So just there is a ridge on this 7th ring and it just stayed there. Not break at all in that last 5 or 6 metres. Now Forsyth's seen that and he said, well, I'm not going outside, I'll just try and draw the shot on the back end, and he's done it superbly.
Selby's third bowl of the end. Not far away. Will it roll a little bit more? Not quite enough. And if Ali Forsyth can, if he can grab here, he's going to be out of reach. If he gets two shots, it'll be 9-1. And the best Selby could do in that situation would be to tie the set.
Yeah, they'd play the 8th end, but if he happens to get more than that, set over. But he's in the count there, Leif Selby. That shot bowl.
Clearly, Ali Forsyth may try to remove that, and that would give him the 3 shots he requires to finish this set.
Either that to the Jack just trying to take it back to his 2 bowls, which would be 3, set over. There's Mark Berghofer on the right. Aaron Sheriff's partner in the men's pairs. Can he pick up the Jack, take it back? Just straighten it up a little bit. Right, oh, gee, was close. A shot to Selby. Set still alive.
Yes, that'll be 1 all. Have a look at that second one there on the left.
I'm doing. New Zealand 7, Australia 2.
Yes, 1 to the Australian, and that is now.
Here's more news from ASX Shot to Win, the great Commonwealth Games competition from Mitsubishi. Valerie's had her final shot at the Games. One of these new Mitsubishi ASXs has been won, but you're still with the chance to win the other ASX. All you have to do is find the hidden key. Just ASXshottowin.co.nz. And good luck.
Ryan Bester, and Ryan Bester really seems to take it to an extreme. He plays it remarkably quickly and almost to the point of rushing it.
Well, Ryan Bester, if he could play 4 bowls at the same time, he would. So let's get this over with. The match that he played against Leif Selby, the match of the men's singles, took 58 minutes.
That'd be an interesting scenario, bowling 4 bowls at the same time.
Well, there's almost a medal on the line here for these 2 players. Whoever wins will go through to the semi-finals, and they are still in the hunt for that gold medal. So it's a really important game, but it's the way he's just rolled that up. These players play the game. They know each other's games inside out. Match straight away. Neither player can approach the other end or the head until after. Again, there was movement at the back.
So it can be a bit off-putting for them.
So he doesn't like that bowl, just drops it, goes for another bowl, starts his routine again.
He did have a guy rolling an oil barrel the other day, which certainly was a bit disruptive. So down the side, just had his concentration broken there. Leif Selby, or allowed his concentration to be broken.
Yeah, he's just had a look at the other end to see where that person was that was walking. It was seriously the death stare. Like tennis and many other sports, there's etiquette to the game, and to their credit, on most occasions the Indian people have been very aware of not to move, but occasionally may not know the game as well as others. So Leif Selby holding a shot at the moment. Both players have got 1 bowl to play.
Selby 5 behind. He needs some heavy scoring to have any chance of winning this set.
Well, he needs one to be able for the ninth end to be alive. Outside of that, it can only be a draw.
Correct. Maximum of 4 shots available on each end.
And he's absolutely filthy at the moment. He's got a little cooler down there. He's actually sitting on the bank. Not flipped open got his own drinks and just is not a happy chappy at the moment. There's plenty more of this match to go. You heard Ali Forsyth, William Lamont queried what he was having a look at, and Ali Forsyth just said, yeah, I know who's holding, just wondering where I'm going to put it.
Make of that?
Well, I think that might have been a little bit tactical. Sylvie wants to come in and try and knock those two bowls away, the two blue bowls just below the jack. And if he gets it a little bit wrong and squirts the jack out as you're looking at it there, I think that was a bit of a tactical move being able to get that bowl out there.
Yes, as we said, he's certainly settled for Leigh Selby only grabbing one shot here. He's forcing another attempt.
Yeah, that's what he's after. He's after to get those two blue bowls out there. Or now that's the set, surely. There's 3 there, at least. There's 3 there at least.
Can't quite understand what he was trying to achieve there, Mike. I thought he would just try and draw the second shot, keep him in the set, keep himself in the set. But as it is, I think it's going to be 3, was it? Now the marker just needs to hold those lollipops up for a little bit longer so that everybody can see what's happening. This has been a problem, these some appreciation of viewers and spectators.
4 for New Zealand. 4.
Oh, he's given 4.
It's 11, it should be 11-2, I think, if it's 4. But whatever, the set is over.
Yes.
Well, they are playing the last end, which is... I might just try and find out exactly what the story is.
It certainly hasn't gone up on the score card that they're now playing the next set. So we're unsure here whether they're at the end of the first set or whether they're starting a new set. And here's a situation where once again there's relaying of information.
Well, we're a little bit confused here because there is absolutely no need to play this ninth end unless the players decided that play the ninth end.
Start the second set, yes.
Yes, no, there you go.
It's not a second set. It's 1 set to New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand scoreboard, please.
Well, finally we get confirmation. So we are on the first end of the... Let's just clarify that. Although it still hasn't on the scoreboard that we're looking at. It's just going up now, belatedly, at one end. Forsyth having a drive at this, takes out one of the Selby bowls, which ends up in the ditch. The other one seems to collide with our camera. Selby onto the mat. And that's just pulling up short there. So there is a chance for Ali for a draw shot here. Bit wide, staying out there. It's a pretty loose end actually, but it appears to be, there's something in it for Selby, surely.
Please, keyboard.
And it is.
Southern Institute of Bachelor of Nursing graduate Hannah Robb has a heart for Cambodia. With limited resources in healthcare, this third world nation experiences poverty and desperation. Having lived for 2 years, Hannah was determined to help meet the needs of the nation. With SIT's high level of training and the freedom of the zero fees scheme, she was well prepared for the adventure that awaited her.
I can make a difference anywhere in the world.
Call 0800 40 fees.
Give him a little bit of confidence. Of course, they didn't. Ninth end, it was impossible for Leif Selby to get back into that particular set. So first set to Ali Forsyth, 11-2, and he played very, very well. Just some great drawing and a couple of great drives as well. If it is set all, we'll go to a tiebreak. And he's put his head down straight away. Just wasn't happy with that as soon as it came out of his hand. Although he shouldn't have given up on it so well.
And dribbled on. Really impressive first set from Ali Forsyth. Won 6 of the 8 ends.
For the ball from Selby this time. And the Aussie contingent starting to get into the match as well. Just keen to be able to draw in there. He's close. It's close. Yeah, the market just in 2 at the moment. Selby has one more, Forsyth 1.
With some weight. Hit his own ball at the front there.
Well, that's probably 3 to Australia with 1 to come. This could be a maximum for Leif Selby if he can just dead draw this. This could be a big end for the Australian. No, he's only saying 2 at the moment. So it'd be a measure for the third, you would think. Well, that blue bowl might be in the count more so than the one on the left. So a huge bowl in the scheme of things for Leif Selby.
Yes, it's probably done enough, or it rolled back.
It looks like 3.
Keep good.
And they agree on 3 there. What a start to the second set for the Australian. He leads 6 shots to 0.
A brilliant start for Leif Selby. 6-0 after Ali Forsyth took the first set 11-2. And the advantage here, Simon, is the mat. Now, Leif Selby won the end. He's asked New Zealand to take the mat. He gets last bowl, and I think that's where Ali first set had the advantage. He had the aspect of being able to draw a shot or have a drive with, and he was able to pick up a couple of ends by having that last crack.
It's curious, the number of times over the course of the last 10 days, 9 days, we've seen a runaway winner of the first set. And then the tide suddenly turns. You wonder why it comes about, whether the winner of the first set takes the foot off the pedal a little bit. We've seen the scenario played out quite a few times.
And just slipping through his own bowl or inside that bowl of Selby's. Yeah, way short. Wasted opportunity.
Yes, that's done pretty well there inside Selby's bowl.
Switching to the forehand. He's got to get inside his own bowl. He's not going to do that, and I don't think he's going to have the weight to be able to promote it. And he's not.
Yeah, 2 moderate deliveries there by the Aussie. This has got a little bit more pace on, but it could hold up, and it probably does so. It's
yeah, give him one at the moment, maybe a measure for. But again, Selby, if he's good enough, can draw this shot off.
could just take. No, he gets past his own bowl. It's looking promising.
Rolled the wrong way for him, I think.
A little bit unlucky. There we are. It's just twisted away from Forsyth's blue bowl. They're having a good look at this. And it's 1 to New Zealand, to Ali Forsyth. So there, it's 6-1 now. Jack already on its way. Marcus sprinting to clear the mat on the other end. Oh, he's having some work this morning, isn't he?
Absolutely, no doubt about that. And an update. There's our most brilliant executive producers / directors / Western Australian ladies bowl executive. Her dad was from Taylor Ben, and a member, that's Catherine of course, a member of the Taylor Ben Bowling Club. And her grandma Kitty played for many, many years and was a member of, I think, the South Australian Bowling Executive. And she's got it. That's her grandmother Kitty's hat that she's wearing. Ali Forsyth will just see the end of this bowl. Very good opening bowl by Leif Selby. She knows she's on.
Looks remarkably well given how little sleep she's had in the last or so.
Right, man.
Yeah, she's been making all the experience of the various options available here in New Delhi. Really enjoying herself.
One of those badges is from the World Bowls from something like that. But back to the bowls, and Leif Selby holding 2 at the moment. And in the other semi-final, just to the left of your screen, there will be a winner in 2 sets over there. The first set was drawn between Paul Foster of Scotland and Robert Wheel of Wales. Another chance for Leif Selby here. I think he just wanted one at the back to match those 2 back New Zealand bowls. That's pretty smart bowling, because Forsyth might have a crack at this. He's going to try and draw the serve. He's missed it. He was just trying to do it with a little bit of weight. He'll have one more attempt. Selby has one more. You'd love it to sit just in front of the jack. New Zealand have those 2 best backwoods. But Selby's all around.
Oh no, Forsyth can't do anything about this situation. The set will be getting away from him.
The green number 1. It's the biggest crowd I've seen here at the Lawn Bowls program, all Commonwealth. A very good crowd. A big bowl here for Ali Forsyth if he wants to stay in the set. And I think he's going to have a run at this just with a little bit of weight. Just trying to pick up the jack and take it back.
He needs to turn, might take out one of the Australian bowls. He does that.
Well, he might have done enough to take out that second one as well, but our camera angle, our overhead, doesn't give us a total perspective, so I think he's only going to say it's 1 to Selby, so Forsyth limited the damage, but Selby has a very, very handy lead in this. Losing the first set 11-2, he's up 7-1 in the second. Ali Forsyth, the New Zealand singles winner in 2002/3 and 3 and 4. World champion singles winner in 2004. As Simon said earlier, a specialist singles player.
That's a great bowl there from Leif Selby. These kites that are swooping around the greens could be very distracting.
Yeah, good bowl from Ali. Just holding.
Run in, shock the jack.
William Lamont there, Laith Selby just asked him where the actual jack is sitting, because from where he is he can't see the jack. It's behind his own.
Just run enough. Oh, it's so nearly. If he could just sort of rolled up that green bowl there. Great try by the Kiwi.
Just noticed a little bit of hesitation there from Sil before he delivered that bowl as to his thought process. I think he changed his mind just before he delivered that bowl. Ali Forsyth just out of, still holding shot at the moment, and this is just there. Prior to that, he had a little hesitation, and then started his routine again. So I think he might have changed his mind just before he delivered that bowl. A little bit of weight this from Ali Forsyth. He is not far away,
and succeeds only in offering Lee Selby more goodies.
Was his last bowl. So Selby now, if he could draw another one in here, he could get the maximum 4 shots.
He'd have a massive lead. Has it got enough petrol? Comes up a little short there. It's probably going to be 3 or 4. It's the marker holding up 3. But Leif Selby now running away with this second set at 10-1. So we've got a tie-break on the cards here. Even though we've only had 5 ends, it's going to be some comeback if Forsyth can reel Selby in here.
There's part of that big crowd over there, aware of the cameras being pointed in their direction, and it's great to see. And they have learnt very, very quickly about the game of lawn bowls. It's got the potential to explode here in India. There's 1.2 billion people. They've got some in Ranchi, which most of the Indian players that have played at the Commonwealth Games are from. Calcutta has a green, and this is a magnificent complex here in New Delhi.
Yes, this complex has the terrific training facility for young bowlers. It's a good bowl. And you'd have thought out of the massive population here in Delhi that there's going to be 1 or 2 youngsters that are pretty good at the game. Or could.
Those that are watching in Australia and New Zealand, the population of New Delhi is 17 million, almost the population of Australia.
It is an extraordinary statistic, isn't it, when you consider the size of the country compared to the size of Delhi.
Well, in Sydney there's 5 million people here. he's just matched back bowls of Ali.
Bench is short of Jack.
Selby's bowl is off the jack. A little bit of a running shot, but he bows the head.
He's disgusted with that. And it is well off.
In delivery, called a wide. Selby just trying to draw the second.
Yes,
and he had the luxury, Simon, of just being able to put that, trying to put it in front of the Kiwi bowl. I think he's missed again. So he might pick up a couple here.
Yeah, he didn't just miss, he missed by a mile once again. Selby's last bowl is on its way. Forsyth flings the mat towards the ditch at the other end.
Well, if this stops, he could pick up 3. And it has. So you would think that's 3 again.
Forsyth puffing out his cheeks on the way down. 3 it is. And so it's 13-1. Selby has a 12-shot lead. And even...
Well, you've got a situation here now that all that Ali Forsyth could do, the set. I think he's conceded this set. We may now...
Oh, it's up to you if you want to concede the set? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah. That is the case because they're tossing the coin here. So it's definitely... Forsyth has conceded the second set. So the second set ends 1.
One set all.
Forsyth could only have tied the needed maximum shots on each 3 ends.
Ali made a comment there. He said, I'm not that cheeky to think that I can get 3 forward, let alone 1 4. So good play. Both players, one of these players will progress, the other will bow out. It's a long day for them to the gold medal game. So that's good sportsmanship shown by Ali Forsyth.
Wow, I think he's just been proud. So,
well, it's a new ball game now. 3 ends of the tie break, and it's cumulative shots.
do you think tactically it was the right thing to do, Mike? Because he has gone off the boil, Ali Forsyth. Selby is on a roll. Perhaps if he had played out another couple of ends, just to get himself maybe back into better shape for the tie-break. He comes into this tie-break badly out of form against a rival who's on fire at the moment.
Well, I think you've seen by those first couple of deliveries, for Ali Forsyth it's a brand new ball game. Set done. It could have ended up the other way too if he had played those next couple of ends, and so we had got another couple of threes or whatever, and the score had been 16-17-1. How does that affect your mental capacity to be able to go in here? I think he's gone into the tie-break now with a fresh attitude, brand new ball game, and those first 2 bowls have been almost on the money. The pressure back in this end, now by the looks of it, back to Selby.
Just wondering if he might have used another end or 2 just for mere drawing practice.
Yeah, I think at this level now that they know how their form is, and it's not going to change dramatically within the confines of this game, but you've seen here that Forsyth already has played a lot better in this first end of the last 4 or 5 ends.
This isn't far away. That's a great Selby just rolled on a little. We'll see what the marker thinks here. He'll hold up. Is that one Reddy's holding up, yes. Mike? Yes, it is. So he thinks that Ali Forsyth still holding shot.
Here in the first end of a tie break. Yeah, you'd probably... Oh, gee, there's no... Green bowl, if we can just hold that there for a moment. The ring goes actually through the centre of the green, and the ring on the blue bowl is at the back of the centre circle, if you like. So that may indicate that, yes, maybe New Zealand just holding a shot.
It's doubtful, though, if the marker can be absolutely certain of that.
He's only giving an indication. Yeah. He certainly doesn't say, yes, it's definitely shot. On most occasions he can. He's only giving an indicative view. Well, that's not bad. He was just being able to... He must have been pretty certain that he's holding a shot because he's got two back bowls of Leif Selby. So he's now got the two best backwoods. So Selby again is just going to have to do an Ali Forsyth and draw the shot. I think he likes it. No, it's just ducking in now. Or is it it's just got there? Has it got there and got the shot? Well, it's come around the back, and he's probably drawn the shot. No, but they're going to go for a measure. This is tight. I'd given up on it.
I don't believe it could have got so close when it started to drop away under the line.
Interesting.
1-2 Leif Selby. There's one up in the tie break.
We'd given up on it, or I had. I didn't think it was going to get anywhere near the head, and just held its line enough and sat there and was able to draw the shot. First advantage to Selby. This is the second end of the tie break. Hear plenty of screaming on the rink next door. It's Wales and Scotland. And Wales, after drawing the first set, Wales leads 6-3 with 5 ends remaining. Beautiful bowl from Leif Selby. Probably didn't roll the way that he wanted.
Winner of this match to play Gary Kelly in the men's singles. The winner of the Wheel and Foster match on the neighbouring rink to play Sam Tolchard of England.
It's rolling on a little bit. Not far away.
You're holding one.
So Selby holding one here, according to the marker. This is a good roll, good line, just rolling a little through, very good indeed again. Gets a round of applause from his Aussie teammates.
Was starting to do its best work late, but just ran through. It's the most animated we've had all Commonwealth Games lawn bowls program as Selby trying to draw number 3, and it's just going to run out of legs. Bowlers have one bowl remaining in the second end of the tie-break. Now, isn't that lovely? That's what the Commonwealth is about. Spirit
and collaboration. Great to see everyone getting on so well. Everyone mixing in wherever they come from.
It's a huge bowl for Ali Forsyth.
Yes, it's his last bowl of the end. He's one down in the tie-break. It's under the line.
Well, Selby now nearly has a chance. If he could grab 3 here, Forsyth would have to get a 4 to send it into an extra end in the tie-break.
The marker suggesting that Selby is holding 2 shots.
While we said that Ali Forsyth, that was a big bowl for him, equally, this is a really big bowl for late Selby.
Chance of a place in the semi-final.
Good, mate.
Will come into shots shortly. It's doing very well indeed. And that could indeed be for Leigh Selby. It is indeed. And the Australian goes in the tie-break. So that scenario described by Mike is the very situation is Ali Forsyth.
No one has been able to get a 4, but don't give up on it. Don't change your sets. Don't go and get up. We saw in the men's where South Africa got the maximum to take the match. Can Ali Forsyth force an extra end of the tie-break?
It's a good opener. Oh, it's just rolled on a little.
Forsyth would love nothing more, but it's going to duck across the front. You had that one there. That being so short, a serious advantage now to Selby.
It's difficult to see how both those Forsyth bowls can end up counting.
Yes.
Now you heard Ali Forsyth there ask permission of to come up and have a look at the situation. He would have to take the Australian bowl out.
He could take about if he could somehow contrive to send the jack spinning away out of shot to the right, and it was re-spotted, but even then it wouldn't be clear if his bowls were closer.
I think that of Leif Selby, which is closest to the jack and the other blue bowl, I think Selby's bowl would looking at, if he takes that green bowl out where his foot is at the moment, then he could draw the shot off if he can follow the jack. Blue bowls on your right as you're looking at, but you know, I think that's his blue bowl would have to stay on, and probably in around that position.
So if he plays this with weight, one of his blue bowls ends up in the ditch.
Game over.
It's over. He's going for the draw.
Yeah, he'll go for the draw first. He's got to pick up the jack. He's not far away. He's not far away from picking it up, and it just slides through. Now you can't see possibly him taking both those green bowls out, and even if he on his next bowl draws the jack over to his two bowls, he's only got three. That's not enough.
He may have to take three bowls out after this one.
That's two shots to Selby, and Ali Forsyth. The marker's put up. He thinks he holds three. It's been played in great spirit, this match between Ali Forsyth and Leif Selby. They would have played each other on numerous occasions.
He's looking for a bit of a miracle here.
Well, I think it's he's going to wind up. He needs to take all three out, off the one on right in front of the jack to cannon onto the other two to take him out.
That's probably the only way.
This will be the Walter Lindrum shot of history.
Through the gap, takes out the jack.
Takes his cap off. And Leif Selby will go through to the semi-finals of the men's singles. Victory here in the tiebreak. First set, bounced back brilliantly in the second set, and has won the tiebreak. The Australian contingent, Simon.
And we're not exactly what the score was in that. It was 3, was it? Didn't see the marker put up the lollipops. So it's a runaway win. We haven't actually got confirmation of that, but it is academic. But Leif Selby then into the semi-final, and he will take on Gary Kelly of Northern Ireland, who's been in tremendous form throughout the tournament so far. And the winner of that match will play the winner of the Sam Tolchar he meets in the semi-final, whether it be Rob Foster. Just confirm that well, we think it was 4-3 in that tie-break, with the respotting of the jack, that Ali Forsyth would have scored 3 shots, but on these occasions that we do need an announcement, really, don't we? Which doesn't happen. But there we are. It really is inconsequential. We'll try and get that absolutely firmed up in a moment or two.
It was 7-0. 3-4. Okay, no, it was 3-4. So anyway, as we said, academic to the overall result, but a very, very good performance by Leif Selby after being reasonably comprehensively set. Forsyth played some extremely good shots and dominated, but Selby bounced back, and he's through now, and he plays Gary Kelly, and that went to a tie break as well.
And here are a few of the highlights. These players know each other very well. And an early drive from Forsyth, who ran away with the first set, which actually only went to 8 ends.
Simon, that was a big bowl there because Selby was looking at one stage of holding 4 and that was on the 6th end. That was brilliant.
And that was a fairly loose end with some of the play there. But that was still 3 shots to Leif Selby. We're into the second set now, and Leif Selby doing much better in the second set. In fact, he ran away with it. He had 4 ends worth 3, and some attractive spectators watching on. And then there was a tie break, and that was one for the first end of the tie break. He accelerated in the second end, had a good lead going into the final end, and it was just too much for Ali Forsyth, who conceded defeat and removed his cap, and it was all over. So later through to the semi-final. He and Gary Kelly have already met in this competition, and Gary Kelly won that 2-0. Kelly will probably start favourite to win that semi-final clash, and we can look forward to the final at the end of today. It's boiling up in the singles.